order the City Council meeting for April 8th, 2026. The time is 6 p.m. and the first thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody would stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Is there anybody who'd like to make a motion?
This is Jenny. I can make a motion. I, Jenny, move to approve the agenda for April 8th, 2026, City Council meeting.
This is Scott. I'll second.
All right, we got a motion on the floor. It's been second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jenny?
Jenny, aye.
Scott, aye.
Karen, aye.
And Ron, aye. The motion passes. We'll go on to item B, consent agenda. Is there anybody in the staff or the City Council that has an issue with items 1 through 4? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to move to approve the consent agenda for the April 8th, 2026 City Council meeting.
This is Karen. I'll second it.
So we have a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. Any other discussion on this topic? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. Jenny?
Jenny, aye.
Scott, aye.
Karen, aye.
And Ron, aye. We'll go on item number C, presentations and items for council action. The first item is the public forum. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to come forth and talk to the City Council?
Yeah, Mayor, you do have a couple of people coming forward, so you know.
Oh, thank you. I can't see out there. Oh. Myron, you got to say your name.
My name is Myron Angel, 14048 Furman Street in the city. I attended the meeting, the workshop meeting yesterday. A couple issues came up that are a concern. New building, all the issues with ADA compliance. Just wondering if there's a plan to address those issues. There are needs in this building, roofing needs, etc. I would just wonder what the preventive maintenance plan was so that they don't become issues all of a sudden. Bare homes, or I'll say, let me back up. What other companies in our city have required TIF and or MIF? Do the benefits of each outweigh the city's exposure? And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Myron. Just to let you know, Myron, a lot of those items will be discussed further on. So we'll go, anybody online, or is there somebody else out in the audience? Nobody's out in the audience. Anybody online like to make a comment? Hearing none, we'll close the public forum and go to item 2 under C, Forest Lake Cable Commission Accounting Services Termination.
At the December 10th, 2025 City Council meeting, Paul Peterson, Access Coordinator for Lakes Area Community TV, presented the 2026 budget for the Cable Commission. In addition to the budget presentation, Mr. Peterson informed the council that the commission would not retain their bookkeeping agreement with the City of Scandia after the end of 2025 due to cost increases that were in excess of their budget. Mr. Peterson inquired if the City of Columbus had an interest in assuming the accounting functions for Lakes Area TV. The City of Columbus discussed Mr. Peterson's inquiry and offered to provide these services for the remainder of 26 at the 2025 fee charged by Scandia. The city offer was made to assist Forest Lake Area Cable Commission in their effort to find a replacement for this service. At the December 10th, 2025 council meeting, the City of Columbus approved to provide a one-year accounting services in the amount of for a charge of $3,600 to the Forest Lake Area Cable Commission. This service actually began the first payroll period of February 2026. Upon commencing the service, staff found that there were undisclosed problems in their procedures, deficiencies in their internal controls, integration issues transferring to our accounting software, and protocols that did not align with our policies. Scott Wendell, City Council Liaison to the Forest Lake Cable Commission, was briefed on these matters, and the meeting was held on March 2nd, 2026, with city staff and Renee Fegan, Forest Lake Area Cable Commission community member, to address these issues. Mr. Wendell and city staff received no responses regarding the matters discussed at this meeting. Mr. Wendell and Jack Davis met with Paul Peterson on March 26, 2026, and informed him it would be their recommendation that this service be terminated effective April 8, 2026, due to the incompatibility of our different accounting practices and the need for restructuring the Forest Lake system to correspond to general accounting standards and board procedures that are used by the City of Columbus. Staff and Mr. Wendell also conferred with City Attorney Megan Rogers prior to the meeting with Mr. Peterson, and as a result of that discussion, Mrs. Rogers prepared a draft city response to this matter. Her response is exhibited in Attachment 1 of the April 8, 2026 City Council meeting packet. Staff recommends that the accounting functions provided by the City of Columbus to the Forest Lake Area Cable Commission be terminated effective April 8, 2026. To support an orderly transition of the change in this service, the city is willing to continue providing payroll process for a period of 30 days from the date of the letter from the city attorney exhibited in Attachment 1. This interim period will provide the Cable Commission time to engage another service to ensure continuity of their operations.
Does anybody want to make a motion? Scott?
Yeah, if I could, just real quickly, I just want to point out that, our city staff, in particular our finance director, have a high level of integrity here, and I think the citizens of Columbus should be aware of that and understand that the city is being extremely responsible with our tax money. To get the Cable Commission up to that level of integrity was a scope of work that went beyond our agreement with the Cable Commission. I think we remain loyal to the Cable Commission, and in our meeting with Paul, we did inform him, Mr. Davis did inform Paul that, and I should say that we gave them our recommendations on how they could achieve that high level. If they took our recommendations and were able to get themselves up to that high level, that we would consider taking that back from them too. So again, thank you to city staff for maintaining that integrity and watching out for our citizens' tax dollars in regard to this.
Did you want to make the motion?
I sure can. I, Scott Wendell, move to approve the accounting services for the Forest Lake Area Cable Commission be terminated effective April 6, 2026.
Should be April 8th.
Correction, April 8, 2026.
This is Jenny, I second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. Any other discussions from anybody? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jenny?
Jenny, aye.
Scott, aye.
Karen, aye.
And Ron, aye. Motion passes. We'll go on to item number 3, Bear Homes Expansion MIF loan.
This has been a topic that's been discussed 3 or 4 times since the beginning of the year. And at the March 3rd, 2026 City Council work meeting, the Columbus City Council discussed a request from Bear Homes for the city to be the applicant for a MIF loan from the Department of Employment and Economic Development for their proposed business expansion plan. I won't go into reading this whole thing, but at the conclusion of the March 3rd meeting and the April 7th work meeting discussion, there was consensus among council to sponsor the application for a MIF loan for the Bear Home Expansion Project, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, that the loan would be only for 7 years. The interest rate is 0%, and include use of existing city RLF fund, revolving loan funds for the Bear Home project in the amount of $100,000. That $100,000 is already in a city account, which was created back in 2018, and any repayment to the city or deed for that would roll back over into reestablishing that amount in this fund. Also, there would have to be an approved agreement between the city and Bear Home that clearly defines the roles and duties of each in the administration of the loan. That there would be an application fee charged to cover the city's upfront legal and financial consulting costs and be initially set in escrow to $12,000. Another agreement would have to be approved at the costs that are normal and reasonable in excess of the $12,000 escrow amount for consulting fees be paid by Bear Home to the city in the event the original amount is depleted. And then there would have to be an agreement that ongoing charges through the loan term for staff administration and cost incurred for those items set forth in the deed agreement as responsibility of the city be established in a separate agreement with Bear Home. These costs would cover the monitoring, reporting, and compliance requirements of deed and be paid by Bear Home if the city is invoiced. Staff is requesting that City Council consider approval of the city being the applicant for the Bear Home Expansion Project MIF loan, subject to condition listed in this staff report or any other conditions recommended by the city attorney or the city financial consultants, and a public hearing is scheduled for April 22nd, 2026 council meeting to allow public comment on this matter.
Okay, we got a motion, we don't have a motion on the floor yet. Does anybody want to make a motion?
This is Jenny. Can I ask a question before we do that? Kind of going back to Mr. Angel's question, talking about the city's exposure. Does city staff know in terms of MIF loans, any details about MIF loans in general relating to other cities and frequency in which they are given each year?
I'm not that familiar with the MIF loan process. It is one that's used quite extensively in the metro area and even in outstate. MIF, just to be clear, is totally different from TIF. There's still no exposure risk to the city in participating in this. If there's ever any issues with loan payments, Bear Home would be in default of their agreement and have to pay the loan off entirely from their own funds to deed. As far as other cities that have used it, it's something that I don't believe is really been that prevalent in this far north metro area. I do know it's been used for a lot of other projects, but nothing that I'm familiar with up here.
But clarifying that the city acts as a pass-through and there is no risk. So talking about opening ourselves up to risk, really the city isn't holding anything for risk relating to any financial agreements or anything like that.
That's correct, and you described it very accurately. We're just a pass-through. And we take the request each month for their loan payment and their reports that they submit to back that up. We make sure that they're approved. We send them to deed. Deed sends us the money, and we send that to Bear Home. So we have no financial stake in this at all. Again, I've been asked many times, what are the benefits of this to the city? There will be some job creation as far as it goes now. Well, I was told that the city has, or Bear Home has 3 people that live in the city of Columbus that work for them. The new job creation, I think, was set at about 40 jobs. So it would really make a huge difference in the amount of jobs in the city. Our biggest benefit would be the addition of another $120,000 to $150,000 in property tax annually. And there would be no delay in getting that tax. They would start paying that up front as soon as the building was built and everything was completed with the county on their valuation.
Thank you very much.
And then, Jack, if I could also ask a question about that. So TIF is basically through deed for job creation, state money that comes from the state passes through us with the idea being job creation, correct?
It's correct. It's used as kind of gap financing to stimulate industrial or business growth. And it's not the whole portion of it. I think this total project that Bear Home is undertaking is going to be about $14 million. this loan application would be for 1.7.
Yeah, and what we heard earlier today from Myron, and I know Cindy's also here, I think the city council expressed those same concerns in previous meetings and workshop meetings, in no uncertain terms with them. Also calling out the difficulties in working with them in our finance department. I think the benefits for the city in a MIF loan outweigh any risk. There is no risk. So we're looking at a potential doubling almost the size of the building, which is going to increase tax revenue from the city with no risk at all. I share your skepticism, and I think I've shared that publicly before, where I don't know that they'll actually be able to complete getting the MIF loan, quite frankly. But if they don't, or if they don't respond appropriately, it is not like it was when we had the TIF loan and the cooperation that didn't exist back then. So it's almost a no-brainer to me. Potential for tax revenue with very little risk to us. Why wouldn't we?
One other question I want to address the question, why haven't there been others that have applied for this? Mostly because they're able to finance their projects either with other investors financing it, or they have the ability to do it internally with their own funds. So this one, as Scott said, there's a lot of moving parts for them getting their financing arranged. And to date, that hasn't been done. This is just one piece of the puzzle for them to complete their financial package to pay for this.
And we advised them that there would be citizens in Columbus who would oppose this, so they were put on notice.
This is Karen. I just have one question too for you, Jack. The $12,000 in escrow that's being escrowed, is that for the administrative costs that are done monthly, or is?
No, that $12,000 would be to cover our financial consultant's examination of the loan request.
Okay.
And if they do that, they may come back and say, look, this isn't going to work.
Okay.
And it's also to cover our legal costs. And I've gotten quotes from both that say their services will be around $5,000 each. So the $2,000 is just in there for a little extra in case we have to go over. But the second part of this too is we will require them to sign that agreement too that says if for some reason we go over these costs, they're obligated to make that escrow account whole to pay for these services.
And this is a 7-year loan, correct?
Correct.
So it's not a huge amount of time.
Not in the scheme of a lot of this. No, it's just fairly short term.
Thank you.
One final question. This is Jenny. Can I ask Cheryl if she has anything to note or anything of concern before we move forward and vote? Because you will be directly affected by this, and I want to make sure that we're all with that understanding.
I feel as long as we create a better working relationship and they submit all of their required documentation on time, that it would be a good opportunity for growth in the city. So hopefully with the agreement that we're going to draft, everyone will have clear goals, timelines, and deadlines set. So hopefully this time it would go smoother. Thank you.
And to add a little more comment to Cheryl's statements too, it has to be done that way. And it's been made very clear to them if they don't follow their obligations, and they'll be definitely outlined, then the city they will back out of the project. So that would place them in default. So there's a great incentive for them to adhere to their schedules and cooperate with us and do what they're supposed to do in a timely manner.
And so just so we're clear on that, with the TIF loan, we were not able to back out. We were obligated.
Correct.
See that through. With a MIF loan, if this shenanigans, for lack of a better word, happens again, we can back out, and we have no financial loss in the matter.
And, yeah, when I say back out, they would definitely be in breach of their contract and their
Correct.
obligations, so that would cause a default situation.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, I got one comment to make. My comment is that Bear Homes came in 2017 and applied for that TIF loan, and there was a lot of people upset about that one. And I kind of came in about 2018, 19 in that era, and they were hard to get along with the council, and with the city staff, but I think just talking to them in the last year or whatever, I think the attitudes have changed a lot. And they're looking more at progressing than degressing their business. So I don't think, we've never had a MIF, and if I'm correct, we've never had a TIF application here either, except for Bear Homes. So that's to you, Myron. We're kind of caught on one. Do we give up? And I think sometimes, I don't know if it probably be something to ask an attorney sometime, but I don't think because their attitude one time you can deny. I think you have to have something else, but we won't go there. So anybody want to make a motion, or I'll make it?
I can make, go ahead,
This is
Karen.
Karen, I'll make the motion. I, Karen Fleming, move to approve the city participation as the applicant for the Minnesota Investment Fund loan from the Department of Employment and Economic Development to Bear Homes, subject to the conditions set forth in the staff report for item C.3 of April 8th, 2026 City Council Agenda Packet, along with the recommendations of the city financial consultant and the city attorney regarding the role, responsibilities, and obligations of the City of Columbus relative to this agreement.
This is Scott. Myron gave me the thumbs up back there, so I'll second.
So we have a motion on the floor, and it's been seconded. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jenny?
Jenny, aye.
Scott, aye.
Karen,
I can't hear Karen. Did you say aye, Karen?
Yep, Karen, aye.
Ron, aye. Motion passes unanimously. We'll go on to the next item, the March 2026 financial report.
Everyone should have our current cash fund balance report in front of them, and then an expenditure guideline report. And both of your reports are going to be through the end of February. We have not closed out the quarter. So next council meeting, I would be able to present, a full quarter of financials for you. I don't know how in-depth you want to go into the expenditure guidelines. There are a few items that you'll see that stand out that may cause concern, so I wanted to point those out to you tonight. If you look on the first page, page 1, and if you look at our fund that lists membership dues towards the middle of the page, it's showing that we are 336% above budget. That item is due to us joining the Minnesota Association of Small Cities, and that was not in our budgeting process, but overall, we will still remain okay. Another item that you're going to see is in our bonding, and that starts on page 8. So there you will also see, for instance, under bond 308, our debt service bond principal payments. You're going to be wondering, we're at 97.5% of our budget for these bonding items, but that is because we paid our principal payment in full for the year as of February 1st. So the remaining amount that gets paid in July is our interest-only payments. So once we hit the end of the second quarter, all of this will even out. Sunrise Watershed, it looks like we are at 76% of our budget, but that's because we paid our full year membership dues upfront for Sunrise.
How many year? I broke up in my ear here.
Oh, we paid Sunrise our full year of
Full year,
membership dues.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, we're running 15 to 20% of our budgeted amount, which, we are expected to be there. Our cash fund balance, there aren't a lot of changes yet. We have not received our first property tax payment, so we don't have a lot of different revenue coming in. And the only large expenses on our cash fund balance changes are the ones that I pointed out, which would be the bonding payments.
Going back to the membership dues for the small cities, I know the council voted that in earlier this year, I believe. What was the dues? If I recall, it was very, very small.
I'm going to look that up.
Okay.
What is five? I'm going to say 2,500.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a per capita.
Because when they presented it, wasn't it a monthly dues? But then they sent a year?
I think we had the option of paying it in several terms, like monthly,
Okay.
quarterly, semi-annually, or annually.
That would make sense then. Okay.
The dues for that were $5,585.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any more discussion on this? If there isn't, there's no action, so we'll go on to item number 5, Resolution 26-05, approval of acceptance of the LRIP grant.
The City of Columbus submitted a local roads improvement grant application to the Minnesota Department of Transportation on December 11th, 2025 for the North Hornsby Street project. The street section of this project begins at a point approximately 1,350 feet north of the Hornsby Street intersection with Lake Drive and then continues to the Forest Lake corporate limits. This 1,320-foot segment approved for the LRIP grant will complete the upgrades to North Hornsby Street within the City of Columbus. The city received notification of the grant award in the amount of $535,000 on March 27th, 2026. Local costs will be approximately $140,000 and include new street lighting, existing street lighting relocation, and engineering expenses. City road and HRA funds are available to cover the local share for the project. This cost will not affect the 2026 levy nor for future budget years. The Hornsby Street project is part of a larger road improvement in Forest Lake that will reconstruct Eureka Street from the Columbus corporate limits to 11th Avenue. Both portions are scheduled for completion by 2027. The city also submitted a request for this project to be included in a 2026 state bonding bill proposal that is currently before the legislature. This project was submitted to both MnDOT and for bonding bill capital projects to improve our chances of receiving funding for these improvements. As submitted as the bonding bill project, though, keep in mind the following regarding this source of funding. There is no assurance that this project would have been funded. It was submitted in 2024 and 2025 and not funded. Awards of all will be known until late May to mid-June. Also, having been approved for the MnDOT funds may reduce their project chances on receiving money from this source. And even if a project receives the bonding bill funding, there's no guarantee that we would have received the full amount of the $675,000 requested. So the bonding bill is still out there, and if it should be approved, we may be able to negotiate being able to use that for gap funding to complete our local cost share. Some of those still may be ineligible under that, so we'll see, but we won't know until June for that. The MnDOT Local Road Improvement Grant requires the city to confirm acceptance of the award as soon as possible. With this source of funding secured, it is recommended the City of Columbus approve acceptance of the LRIP grant by resolution for the North Hornsby Street project. It is also recommended that upon approval of the resolution of acceptance, we notify our bonding bill sponsors of this decision. Opportunities for further discussion of this alternative with Senator Croom and Representative West can occur on April the 14th, 2026. The city meets with them in St. Paul as part of our lobbying efforts for the Hornsby Street project and our attempts to remedy our issues with fiscal disparities.
I got a question, Jack. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I see some heads nodding. It must be
Yeah, we
okay.
can.
Jack, maybe we have to ask Brian or whatever, but does that funding go for the bike trail or the trail that Forest Lake is building on that? Is that going to be a connection on that?
That's correct. That is an eligible cost for this project. It will be included.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? I'll make a motion. I, Ron Hanegraaff, move to approve Resolution 26-05, a resolution accepting a local road improvement program grant from the Minnesota Department of Transportation for the North Hornsby Street project.
This is Scott, I'll second.
We got a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jenny?
Jenny, aye.
Scott, aye.
Aaron, aye.
And Ron, aye. The motion passes. We'll go on to the agenda here. Item D, consultant liaison and staff reports. We'll go to Brian first, city engineer report. Brian?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Brian Bachmeyer, Consulting City Engineer. Just going to mention a couple of things. I'm still waiting for the soil boring results for the water tower site. It's not for lack of trying. I've been contacting AET on a regular basis, and it just seems like there's some delays in getting the lab tests completed before they can write the report. So hopefully it'll be very soon and we'll be able to get those report to you. The second item, we did have a good opening today for the Notre Dame Mill and Overlay project, and the results were very favorable. So we will have a recommendation for the council at the next meeting. That's all I have to report, and stand for any questions.
How many bids did you receive? This is Scott. How many bids did you receive
We
today?
had 4 contractors submit bids for the work, and in all honesty, they were all less than the engineer's estimate. So
Okay.
very good estimate.
I take back what I said before the meeting.
Any other questions of Brian? Hearing none, thank you, Brian. We'll go on to Megan, the city attorney report.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. The only item that I have for my report is a reminder that next Tuesday, April 14th, is the City of Columbus Day on the Hill. We look forward to welcoming you at Larkenhofen Public Affairs and starting those important conversations with your legislators. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. We'll go on to the mayor and city council's report. Jenny, do you have anything to report?
This is Jenny. I have a couple of different resident items to update on. I believe at the last council meeting, I mentioned that we had a few residents that had a dispute basically related to a resident pet/farm animal situation and some potential not disposing of waste properly. I know that city staff worked really diligently with both of our residents, and it sounds like we're able to come up with a resolution to mitigate this going forward. So I wanted to really take the time to not only thank the resident who brought up the issue for his patience, for their patience in working with our city, as things do take a little bit of time to kind of work through a process, but our city staff was very diligent, so I wanted to thank you all for that. The second thing was that I received an email, and some of you may have as well, I'm not sure, last night from a resident relating to some questions about the funding for not only the water tower, but a potential city site. And so they just had questions relating to what communication would be going out, how residents would be impacted, what residents would be able to speak about this going forward. So I did communicate as well that resident input would be very much a part of this, and that would be communicated out so that there would be an open house before anything were to be decided upon. So just giving that update as well, and that's all I have to report.
Thank you, Jenny. Scott, do you have anything?
No report tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Karen?
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
And I don't have any report other than mark your calendars again and get your gloves out and your rakes and your shovels. On the 25th, we're going to clean up the park. So that's on. The Lions are going to help us. They're going to raffle off a tree to the public, and they'll have coffee and refreshments. So that's all I have. And then the next item on the thing is the EDA report. And we don't have anything to report from the EDA, right? Jenny?
The only thing I think to note was that council members received some pamphlets or some information cards that Aaron had put together, so thank you, Aaron. And I think you all picked those up to potentially go out to our businesses. So I think if you are able to do that, that's great, because we do have Columbus coming up in the next few weeks.
Good thing you pointed that out. It's the 23rd, 2 days before. Thank you, Jenny. We'll go on to Personnel Committee Report, Public Works Seasonal Employee.
The Columbus City Council approved $18,000 in the 2026 budget to hire a seasonal employee or 2 seasonal employees for the May through September peak summer work schedule for ground maintenance at the Columbus City Park, Boulevard and roundabout mowing, and assistance to the Public Works Department for mid-spring, late summer project needs. This position will also fill in for regular Public Works employees taking leave time during this period. The need for seasonal help is to perform the work previously done by Ryan Stark with RVS Turf and Snow Incorporated. Mr. Stark's company provided mowing service and park maintenance for the city from 2011 through 2024. The Columbus Public Works Department performed this work in 2025, but doesn't have the capacity to continue this maintenance activity without postponing or delaying other priority projects. The city advertised for this position from February 23rd to March 22nd, 2026 on the Columbus website, the Reader Board, and our other social media outlets, and received 2 applications for the position. The applicants were interviewed on March 23rd, 2026 by Jim Windingstead, Public Works Director. Both candidates met the job description requirement. Applicant Simon Johnson, though, was the preferred candidate. Staff recommends that Simon Johnson be hired as a seasonal employee at the rate of $18 per hour. The start dates will be between May 14th and May 18th, 2026, with an end date of no later than October 2026, or 800 hours of work, whichever comes first. This is a seasonal position, offers no city benefits or paid holidays, and this is an hourly paid job. Mr. Johnson's background and reference checks have been completed with no concern over either.
Mr. Mayor, this is Scott. Are we just hiring 1 or 2? Okay.
Are you going to make the motion? Anybody going to make the motion, or?
Jenny, I, Jenny, move to approve the hire of Simon Johnson as a seasonal employee at a rate of $18 per hour, subject to the conditions listed in the staff report for this recommendation.
This is Karen, I'll second it.
We've got a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. Is there any other discussion on it? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Jenny?
Jenny, aye.
Scott, aye.
Karen, aye.
And Ron, aye. The motion passes unanimously. We'll go on to item number 6, Park Board Report. We didn't have a meeting, but then again, we're going to have the clean up the park on April 25th. Planning Commission Report. Scott?
I think I already gave it, so no report tonight.
Okay. Public Works?
Sorry, I'm still stuck on Cable Commission. My gosh. Planning Commission did have one cup that came before them that they will pass on to us. Sorry, I don't have more information on it. I'm still stuck in Cable Commission, so we'll see that at our next council meeting.
I think we all were there, too.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Okay, we'll go on to item number 8, Public Works Report.
No report, Mr.
Jim?
Mayor. No report, Mr.
No.
Mayor.
Thank you, Jim. Item number 9, City Administrators Report. Jack?
The only thing I want to remind everyone is that the local Board of Appeals and Equalization is coming up on Monday, April the 20th, and this is the only chance residents have to locally appeal their property valuations that were made by the county assessor. So if you have questions or want to dispute that valuation, this is the meeting to come to, present your case, and the city council can actually make a recommendation or act on that to change it, modify it, or just sustain it. So keep in mind, this is the only chance. If you did miss this one, the county says you can't come to theirs unless you go to ours, even though they have let people do that before. But this is a one-time only, and it's only regarding valuation. It's not about city budget. So keep in mind that date.
Is that it, Jack?
That's it.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to item E, which is announcements and reminders, which we all probably just heard. Sunrise River Water Management, April 9th, 2026 at 6:30 PM, East Bethel City Hall. Day on the Hill, like Megan said, April 4th, 2026, St. Paul, Minnesota. Planning Commission meeting, April 15th, 2026 at 6 PM. The EDA meeting, April 16th, 2026 at 4 PM. Local Board of Appeals and Equalization, April 20th, 2026 at 5:30 PM. City Council regular meeting, April 22nd, 2026 at 6 PM. And a local government officials meeting, April 29th, 2026 at 6 PM, Bunker Hills Activity Center.
I think I left the Columbus date out on that. What is that date, Aaron?
23rd. I think Columbus is the 23rd.
Correct.
Am I correct?
4 to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, we got a busy week that week.
Yes, we do.
Holy cow. Well, anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I just want to say one thing. Thank you for making the meeting, as I know you've not been feeling well. So your dedication to the city council, appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Scott. But did you believe I sat back here and didn't sneeze once?
No, I don't.
It's got to be up there. Up in that room.
All right, this is Scott. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is Jenny a
And
second?
okay, we got a motion on the floor. It's seconded. Take a vote. Jenny?
Jenny, aye.
Scott, aye.
Aaron, aye.
And Ron, aye. Motion's, the council meeting's done at 6:42.